Hello there and welcome to another tutorial from AKCP. Today we're going to be taking a look at the securityServer software, and in particular we're going to be having a look at adding a camera inside of that software. So let's jump right in and get started. So once again you can see that I have already opened securityServer. We have our four main windows open: our desktop, workspace, server explorer, and our help window at the bottom. And what we're going to be doing today is adding a camera and viewing the camera, and in particular looking at some of the settings available to you for the camera. So let's have a look at that. Now you'll notice that in the Server Explorer window we have three tabs: Sensors, Cameras, and Maps. Now at the moment it doesn't particularly matter which one of these we have highlighted. We'll just leave it on Sensors. And we're going to go up to the Options tab, left click, and you'll notice that we have two options here which would really relevant to us, which is Add Camera and Add AKCP Device. Now I'm just going to clarify these two here depending on which one you would use. Now if you were using an IP based camera, then you would want to select Add Camera. So let's just have a look at that. Okay, so here we are. All you would do is you would type in the particular IP of your IP based camera, your username and your password. And from the list below you can select your particular brand of camera. So you could select one of either Axis, D-Link, we've got a Panasonic down the bottom, or even a Sony, for example. And once you've done that, you would go ahead and click Add, and the new camera would automatically be added to securityServer. Now in this case I'm not going to be selecting an IP based camera. What I'm going to be selecting is a camera which is attached to an AKCP security probe. So let's have a look at that. We're going to go to Options, left click, Add AKCP Device, and again left click. And this brings up our Add New Device dialog window. So what we need to do is type in our IP address of this particular unit, which in this case is 10.1.5.235, and I would need to add my password and click Add. Okay, now once we've done that, you can see that in the in the Server Explorer window, we now have a unit which has been added, which is 10.1.5.235. Once it's loaded, you'll also see that the name of the unit appears in the Server Explorer window. Now, obviously, if we want to have a look at cameras, by twirling down this list, we're not going to find any cameras here because this is the Sensor tab. So we need to move forward one tab further to the Cameras tab. And now you can see that we have the same unit, but if we twirl down this list you can see that it displays cameras rather than the sensors. And once again, to add cameras, all you need to do is drag and drop them onto the desktop. So as before we go ahead and do that, let's rename the desktop, right click, rename, and we'll just change this to Cameras and left click off, and again you can see the desktop has now changed to Cameras. So let's go back into the Server Explorer window. We'll click the PTDC and we'll simply left click, drag and drop onto the desktop. It will take a moment to load, and there we go. So here's the camera displayed in the desktop. Now one of the first things that you can do is by clicking in the bottom right hand corner you can resize the window to either a bigger or a smaller window depending on how many cameras you wish to display. Let's go have a look at some of the settings available for this camera. Now to do that we go to the top of the window and we'll left click Options, and now we have a bunch of options available to us. For example, we can select Move, we can crop the image, we can zoom in, zoom out, we can resize the image to a standard 320 by 240 or resize to a larger 640 by 480. We can choose to copy a image to the clipboard. We can choose to rename the camera. We can save a JPEG image from the camera, or we can choose to export video. You also have the option here for PTZ control. Now if you are using a PTZ camera for pan, tilt, zoom, you would select this by left clicking, and this would bring up the PTZ controls. By selecting any one of these arrows you can choose which direction you would like to move the camera, and you can also choose how many steps or degrees at one time you would like the camera to move, and that's how you access the PTDC controls. We'll just click off that for now, and that's essentially all there is to it for adding a camera. I hope you found this tutorial useful.